Okay, on this video we are gonna, this is a new subject, another subject in IT. It's a database. We are gonna talk about database. Database, uses SQL. That one of the ways to store data and retrieve it, delete it, uh, and update it. Update. You know, okay. See, every business, uh, a company could be university or any other business. They wanted to keep track of uh, the, uh, for example, a company. Okay, this company has to know that whether the employees are, but the customers is involved in project or anything, or university. There are many items here, like a student. You know, you want to create a database for the university. You say university schema, and you have to create many data. Okay, many tables, and put like university, has a student, instructor. It has courses, sections, and there's some other things, that like this kind of, just give you an example of this, because in any business it might be different. You have an insurance company that you have to keep track of the your own its own employee, the customer, and you know mm, or you offer many different insurance, and to see each customer has a different insurance, like car insurance or any life insurance or anything. Anyway, you have to create these, for example, for university, you want to have a database that keep track of those student, instructor, courses, sections, and all those, you know, information. Then when they want to retrieve it, like an instructor teaching a course, like for the last 5 years, how many courses he taught, you can retrieve it, or you can update it, all these kind of things. So every company has to, for example, a student. We're talking about a student here. Okay, a student table. What kind of information you're gonna have in table? Okay, student ID. You want to keep track of the students. How many students are they, and what are their majors is, what are their GPA is, or what, this kind of things. For example, okay, here it might be just to show you what the items, the items that exist in the table, and these items show the object. This is the student, like here is an object. Okay, it has some characteristic. The student has name, first name, last name. It might, get a lot of information from it. It has date of birth. Okay. You know, a lot of other information, you know, GPA, major, or many other things, you know. So you want to have these information in the table. Then, you know, for other items, you know, you gotta create tables that it shows the information, you know, like instructor, you have to say the name of the instructor ID, when do they, what the position is, when do they start, start day, and what department, or all this. So you want to have all these informations, okay, in order to have the database. You know what you do, you put all the information, give it to the database management, DBS, you know, database management system, you know. So we get into the definition pretty soon. But what I'm trying to say, every student, like student number 1, number 2, number 3, or so on, is the first that is John. John McKay, for example, McDonald's, or any, you know, all the name, Mike, everything with the last name, you know, Joe, Trump, or anything, you know, any, all the first name and last name and then date of birth, like 2010, and they put the data there. What you do, you know, it's for data, you write the months here, month 05 10, 10th of April, May, you know, May of 2010, and GPA whatever 3.6, and major is computer science. Okay, you gotta give all this information. You have all the students you have in the university, and you give all those, you know, you want to know each student what the names and last name and this information. So, and then when you create these tables, you gave in some format, you know. The name always is a string, you know, like John, you know, the name is a string. What you do, you first create a table, I mean, we'll talk about it later, and then you give the value to this. Like, for example, one of the GPA, okay, or date of birth, all these, or you have something like age. See, age is an integer. Age is integer, you know, in programming you always, when you give the information to computers, you know, you have to introduce what you're talking about. Like you say, you want to say, okay, just an example. Integer a is equal to 2. Okay, you give all the information. Say this a is a variable integer and the value is 2. So this is the, say, a means that be age. This might be age and is 20. Integer age is 20. You have to give the variable, you have to give it the name, the variable name, the value, and these are the value. These are the value for this. This actually, entity. We talk about this soon. Entity that these verticals are attributes, and then these are the value of the attribute. Entity, which is student ID 1, his name is John, last name is Donald, and date of birth, whatever it is, these are the value. Then we talk in creating the tables. We talk about that, how we create these. But for now, we are gonna say that every schema, university schema, might be company schema, and all these. It has a different things, like a company schema. What kind of information you think you might have? Yeah, let's erase this. It's a company. No, it's just one company in general. Company schema. And so what the tables are? I mean, what information you gotta put in there? A company has how many has employee? Okay, as a department. They have projects. And so on, So you have the tables here. You create whatever 5 kind of object there in the company schema, and you have to exactly say what employee, what the number employee, the name of the employee, they maybe the social security employee. Sex, age, whatever, it depends on the schema, what information you want to put in there. So, let's say that you create these tables, and then we create these tables. You can, use it as a database through whatever the system you're using, Okay, let's talk about some definitions. Some definition about that, and we'll get to those tables, and creating those tables, and deleting, updating, and these kind of things. So first talk about what is data. Data is just a collection of some facts that can be recorded, and that can have an implicit meaning. What is database? Database is collection of related data. Then we talk about those, that in details. That when you created those tables, then you can connect those tables through with each other, and we talk about key, primary key, foreign key, and all this. Now some definition, and then database management system is a software. It's a software that for creation of the manipulating of all those data through in a computerized, database. Okay, so there are this definition. Some of the definition is very important to learn, and now there are many different, different kind of there are some definitions. First, important definition. Let's talk about it. Talk about entity. Okay, when we, we get to all this later, database management system. We talk about those later, but there are many items here you should learn, like entity, attributes. That we talk about it a little bit about those tables. That these are the entities, and these are. Let's talk about this entity. Entity, it's it's a thing or object that that you can use it to store data, information, and anything could be, any object that, like we talked about it, like employee is an object, is an ent. Okay, entity. And then we have like entity, you can put like a student is an entity. And then you attribute, whether the attribute actually defines, describe the entity. This is describe the entity. This could be a thing, entity, anything, object. A student could be an object, and then attributes, whether the student name, first name, last name, email, date of birth. I don't think it's the attribute of those. And the value of attributes, like the age, one of the attributes. Then you can say, or date of birth, these are the value of whatever. Date of birth had the value like 2000, this way, month 1/01/15, January 15 of 2000, for example, the date of birth, or 8. These are the string, and this is the, we can use age like 23, just write in an integer for it, 23. The age is 23. So what I'm going to talk about right now, that is primary key. Okay, primary key. And then we have foreign key. See, at the table we talked about it, like we have here a student, not just a student, we say like person, for example. The person is an object, okay? You can get all the information. This is person ID. And then we have first name, last name, age, date of birth, email, or address, or whatever it is. So the table is person. The name of the table is person, and then you have to what person ID. You want to recognize this person. Okay. The primary key. It is very important that you learn primary key. Uniquely identify the rows, okay, in the table. And foreign key is a key that references primary key. References primary key in another table. Okay. Let's talk about its primary key. We talked about attribute. Attribute defines the entity, and entity is a thing that you want to get the information from it. I mean, attribute defines the entity, and the value of entities could be anything. Attribute, like age is attribute, okay? We can say that the value of this attribute age is 22. So it's the value of attribute. Primary key, see, in every table, if you want to we define we first of all say uniquely defines the row. See, in this one here, we can use something that, like person ID 1, the first name is John Smith, age 22, date of birth, whatever, email. So in this table there should be one of the one of these these are the entity and these are the attribute. The key attribute, the one that really you cannot find anything that you identify the rows, what I'm trying to say is a primary key is a key that actually identify these rows, and there is no similar to that. Like if you want to say, hey, use the first name as a primary key, you cannot do that, because John, there are many Johns named. Last name will be the same. Age and all these, or you say email, there might be different, or date of birth may be similar. You can find similar two persons, they have the same date of birth. And so, like we say, primary key for the person ID 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what we are saying that that one of these columns, we call it that similar to it doesn't exist. But person ID, that person ID 1, there are millions of people here. Everybody has a different ID. You can use Social Security, SSN. Social Security, because everybody has a different Social Security, so it could be Social Security here, that 1, 2, 3, 55, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Five, 4, 60 is 4, 2, 9. It should be 9 numbers. Yeah, 9 number. So it's uniquely defined. I mean, you can, if you want to later on use any kind of, if you want to delete this row, you say, hey, I'm gonna delete this row with the ID, person ID, either like we last time we said 1, 2, 3, 4, say the number we want to delete the first row, we say delete person ID 1, or if this is Social Security, SSN, then we are going to delete the Social Security with 1, 2, 3, 55, 6, 4, 7, whatever it is, we can, this way we can tell, for updating our table, modifying our table, or delete our table, or retrieve it. We were going to say, give all the information. You want to find information all about this first name, last name of this social security number, what's the age, and what's the date of birth, and this kind of things. So that's the in each table there should be a unique number that we can primary key that identifies the row, and no other attribute are similar to that. Say like if we the same as in with cars. Cars has a VIN number or registration and all this, or license plate. You cannot find two license plates exactly, like in one state. You cannot have two license plates the same. Like in Idaho, you have 1A 213 ABC, for example. 123 ABC. See, you can find like that, because that's the only way to identify each car by its license plate. The license plate must be different. So all, like if you want to create a table that the name of the table is car, so they have the information, car ID, whatever the VIN number, and then we have all the model, year, and all this. So it depends what kind of tables you want. It depends what kind of table you want. Then you can define the attributes. What this entity, what car look like, what information about the car you want to have, make, year, and all these other information. So it depends on the table. You have defined different attributes, and then now we are finished with the primary key. Primary key, we talked about it. Now in the next video we are going to talk about foreign key. What is foreign key? That references a key in another table. Then we are going to talk about those in another video. So we give you different examples that we find that